does. So, hello and welcome back here at the mixed doubles tournament live from Bern. We are bringing you the final of this tournament, played between the Russian team of Anastasia Bryzgolova and Alexander Krusheinitckii, playing the Swiss team Perret-Rios and Jenny Perret. We're just joining it in the first end. So this is the second rock being played in this game. The Russians starting with hammer, as they won the challenger game earlier on this weekend, which is played between 2A qualifiers to determine who will have hammer for the playoffs. The Russian side won that game. So they are starting off with hammer here.
Achtung, Ziegli! Oh! Ziellinie! Oh! 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 Platz, Platz! Platz! Oh! Szekeres! Szekeres! Niet meer.
Stay.
Настя, если что, в гард ошибаем. Мне кажется, футов 6 делай. Что, ты опять забыл свои камни?
Нет. Сначала восьмерка.
70.
Да.
Воу! Линия, только линия.
Воу! Воу!
Свип,
свип, свип! Воу! Воу! Свип! Свип! Воу, воу, воу! Давай, давай, вали, 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 вали! Еще, до конца!
Very nice tap back there. Keeps everything into play, now sits frozen.
Der nimmt sie da raus.
At the top forefoot.
Hier. Da. Springt das? Was hat er, wenn du da bist? Ja. Ziellinie! Ziellinie! Fest! Weiter, was immer! Fest! Noch ein bisschen! Weiter! Einfach weiter, nicht auf Nachfragen kontra, einfach weiter rüschen.
Тебе чуть-чуть тэп, хотя бы свой пока один лучше сделать.
Hätten wir jetzt noch ein bisschen weiter stoßen.
Wieso? Sie wollen ja so spielen. Ja, das ist nur noch mehr.
Ты видишь, что он сейчас кинул что-то? Не едет еще.
Сколько у меня было?
У тебя было 70. Делай 80. Щетку тоже, да?
So now there's already quite a cluster of rocks in the forefoot. And also some in front. Really shaping up to be an interesting end here.
nicht, oder?
О,
Now trying to come around to center
давай,
guard.
давай, 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 вали, 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 вали.
Tap back.
Сделаешь, давай, давай,
Direct
давай,
shot.
давай,
That
давай,
is
давай.
probably
Шуй, шуй,
lying
шуй,
shot
шуй,
right
шуй,
now,
шуй, шуй,
or at least
свип.
second. Oh, it was shot,
So.
and well played there, leaving
Ja,
the
und?
Russian side
Nicht ja und, ich sage es einfach.
with 2 counters at shot position. I wonder whether there is a hole between the guards,
Waar?
because I think there is,
Zo
so you
goed,
could
ja.
play through that, throw some weight at
Goed.
it, and
Daar niet zo met.
I think both, or no, all 3 yellows will probably go. Maybe
Good.
the first one will hang around, but it's definitely there, as long as you make the port. So, and as we're playing this game, or broadcasting this game, there is also 2 other games going on
Ja.
in the arena, and it's the final of the Consolation Cup between the US-American Stolt team and
Oh, zie op! Zie op!
the Chinese team of Wang and Ba. And there we go. As said, yeah, well, the top one just sticks around, but a nice job. Gets it out perfectly. Clears up the middle.
Goed zo.
And of course, on the right-hand side, as you can see on the screen right now, we have the Korean
Het is
team
wel
of
dun
Jang-Lee, who we broadcasted earlier this morning, playing against Michel Jäggi and SWE from Switzerland
Иначе у него будет дабл
in a
от наших.
bronze medal game.
5.
Ja.
Meinst
Look mal, wanneer is.
80 добавлю. Надо ждать больше. Линия что?
Линия хорошая.
Будет вес.
Свип! 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 Давай, 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 давай! Свип, свип, свип! Свип!
Ga je zich weer wisselen?
Да, свип.
Ну, линия,
Zo
потому
wordt het dun, hè? Is goed.
Линии с запасом вот так.
Nou, nou. Voor innen. Voor innen, oder? Zo. Ja. Is goed.
So now trying to hit a quarter of this one
Ja.
and get a piece of the one in the middle. Push them through the port. I will need some weight, I would think.
Ja. Ja. Fast! Rowen, fast! Inena!
It did hit,
Давай,
it
давай,
did
давай,
roll, but not far enough. So
Так садила на его, он так свалил.
looks like there is a chance for it use here in the first end for the Russian team if they hit the forefoot
Kann man dann nicht mehr
with this last draw.
Wie mehr Risiko?
Du kannst vorbeischiessen, passiert
Ja.
nichts,
Ja.
sind genau der gleiche.
Можно в
Slecht
наш?
gespeeld.
Alexander
Хорошо.
Moment is goed, zie je.
Krusheinitckii will try and put a second one in there to open up the score.
Вес.
Вес хороший, надо вес, надо вес. И линию надо, свип,
Если вес надо, помогай.
свип, свип, пройти будет отлично, свип.
Line is looking good, but the weight, will it be enough?
Окей.
Yes, looks good.
Молодец. Очень валит, да? Хорошо.
Нормально валит, с 8, хорошо.
So 2 it is on the scoreboard. For the Russian side. I said they already won a game against Perret-Rios this weekend. So certainly good to come in with a bit of a confidence boost earlier on this season. And we can now see Martin Rios cleaning all the rocks. No, not Martin Rios, excuse me, Alexander Krusheinitckii. Seems like there was some dirt and debris on the ice. Maybe deviated a path of the rock.
Тоже хорошо, Кайснер. 8-7.
Нет, ждем, это посильнее. Внимание, легко.
Воу, линия, воу.
Вес.
So classical come around. Well, here we have seen it curl earlier on, so if the weight is fine, it should come right to on top of the center rock. No, just tiny bit short, I would think, but very nice try there. And let me remind you, the Swiss team is not allowed to remove that yet. You can only remove rocks in mixed doubles after, or with the 4th rock of the end. Starting from that rock, you're allowed to, and the 2 ones that are positioned in the house don't count towards those 4, so.
Da muss es einen Finish haben. Aber ja, ist gut. Vorne nach. Vorne nach. Warte. Warte. Platz, viel Platz. Sehr viel Platz. Achtung. Oh. Zieh.
Настя, там тоже ты должна обсыпать уже.
А там нечего.
Yeah, well,
Нечего.
Jenny Perret coming up a little bit heavy there.
Ja.
Well, hog to hog line, that was about 14-0.
Darum habe ich anders immer gespielt.
Earlier on today, I would say it was about 14.5 for T-line.
Der tappt da vorne.
So this is
Und wer raus? Ja, und wer rausgeht?
a little bit more, a little bit too much.
Ja, haben wir schon 2 im Spiel.
Иначе будет дабл.
Да, да. Со скольки ты делал?
Сколько вес был? 87 у меня, да? Я чуть добавил еще. 80.
Mhm.
87. Вис со свипом.
Свип. Воу.
Все, мне кажется, меньше, чем у меня есть.
Воу, линия. Свип. Воу, воу, воу. Воу.
Very nice tap back there. Taps it right up. I think it's in there for shot position.
Че, Волк, ты сюда еще. Валится же в конце очень,
Ну,
Настя.
как-то в конце очень
Vielleicht
просто
gleich mal
довалилось.
-1, wenn sie nicht da garten.
У тебя не было такого.
So now you have to be careful.
У тебя другой релиз.
Он тоже пошире.
Now if you draw in for the freeze, you might as well see the Russians play a guard,
Da probieren wir
as Jenny
jetzt.
Perret properly
Was sagst
remarks.
du? Ja, besser einer als 3-0 hinten, oder?
Наверное.
So they're going with the more defensive approach. I think they're trying to hit the center guard. Maybe they're also trying to get something at the back. There is a double possibility. It's not easy. But you can surely see Perret-Rios throw the big weight now. Looks close. Jiggles everything around a little bit. The guard is still there. Well, it's not a disaster really. Now the rock on the side can be used to be hit and rolled in as well. So I think you need to get to the top of that now if you're in Anastasia Bryzgolova's skin.
А сейчас сколько было?
8-7. Можно такой же, в принципе. Отличный вес. Пятак.
Оу! Оу, линия! Оу, линия!
Ну что там? Вес фриз.
Очень широко!
Это туда.
Туда уже не будет! Оу!
Well, and this doesn't curl up for them.
Wie wird der spielen?
But then again, the angles are still in their favor, so
Geht's mit den Augen?
Сначала не возьму, он может в любой момент там нагнуть.
Schon wenn wir da hinwicken, ist gut.
Это лучше, чем может раздвигаться.
so now exactly the rock that is lying on the side can come into play
Ist
now.
gut, wenn wir da hinwicken.
I think you should get rid of that, and maybe if you can sit in front of the one that's sitting right on top of the button, even if you move it a little bit, that would be even better. Move it just behind the T-line to give yourself some room to work with. One could also just draw right to it and use that one later on if need be. So I wonder what the call is here. I think they're going for the takeout right
Aber
now.
ist nicht zu wenig? Hä? Mo.
Very well done.
Gut.
That's really a very nice shot.
Что нет?
Это очень
Вот
плохо.
так сделай.
I don't think they were planning the double. I think they were planning to hit and roll in front, but that's also a very nice outcome. I mean, they lie in front and got rid of one of them. Plus, they're partially covered by the guard, if not even 100%. So now
Wieso nicht? Er ist ja wieder raufgerollt.
Anastasia
Das heißt, da hat er
Bryzgolova has to be careful.
So ist der ausgerastet.
Ja.
Сюда ты просто ни разу не возьмешь. Тюкнешься как раз.
Далеко? Такой же вес?
Нет, конечно. Тебе надо шутер уводить. Вес ближе к хаку.
Kann noch einer.
So I think we see a tap back attempt here.
Остренькая.
Оу! Давай, 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 вали, вали,
Just
вали,
chip it
вали,
in a
вали,
little
вали,
bit.
вали, вали, еще. Оу! Свип! Свип! Оу! 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 Свип! Свип!
Just hit a fraction of it and get it on the top of the reds. Yes,
Хорош.
very nice.
Run.
This is very much stuck in between all those reds. The ankles are not really lying too well to remove it at all. So what you could try and do is maybe raise in the center guard, but the center guard is quite far out. So you have to be very accurate. And even if you make it, it's not a guarantee that yellow will go. But you might move yellow off the center, so there is still a chance for 2 in there.
Надо будет только обязательно закрыть. Как тут вроде?
А я тут что-то кидала? Они вон кидают, смотри.
Они делают своим царским сыром.
So they will try and get down to the yellow, probably corner freeze it, make themselves some room. This guard is coming awfully close. Perret-Rios needs to sweep hard there. Oh, but it's on the guard. It's gonna wreck. Leaving a little bit of a gap there, so you can get through there technically, but the question is it gonna help anything or not?
Hat no Hände gehabt, hast du Hände gewechselt? Ich weiß nicht, ob etwas genommen hat. Hat einfach die Hände fast gewechselt, ist gerade vor.
So I think there is space between those two rocks, but you have to be really, really super accurate. Plus also, there is not really a... well, it would certainly be a shot for Jenny Perret. If anything, the Russians are probably just going to close this off. Probably gonna be quite tough. Probably try and double guard the center a little bit, maybe get half buried around the center guard to block off the run. Raise takeout. Or just put it in front of it as well. But this is curling big time as well. So this might overcurl, so the run is probably still there. But it covers the hole.
Run, es geht gar keine andere.
So yeah, and Jennifer Perret says correctly. The run, there's nothing else really. Now, I wonder how far you can get with the run. You will most likely score 1, as yellow will probably get stuck. If you say hit the guard right on the beak. Or even if it hit it just a fraction on the right hand side. I don't think you get the yellow completely out of the forefoot, so I would think that this is for 1. But then we have seen a couple of great upweight shots for Jennifer Perret, from Jennifer Perret. And so I wouldn't be surprised if there was the yellow line sent flying. Really close. Oh, very close. Needed to curl a tiny bit more. Well, didn't quite work out. Steal of 1.
Zweiten End.
Nein, wenn deine gut kommt, ist gut.
Dann können sie auch die Hochguard spielen.
Ja und? Wir haben immer einen für 4.
So 3-0. Now they've picked a more defensive option in this last end, so I think that the Swiss team will certainly have to start attacking here. Or attack even more, as it was not quite as defensive as it could have been.
Out.
Да. 90, да?
Да. Да.
Смотри, в конце может только
Можно 8-5.
So just to give you an update, what is happening on the other sheets.
Внимательно. Внимательно. Линия пока есть, но надо свип. Да, очень.
In the Constellation Cup final, we have the 2-0 lead of the Chinese team over the US team.
Молодец.
They are playing, they're about to start the third end now. And there's the classic opening in our game, which we'd like to concentrate on.
Линия! Те линия! Те линия! Оу! Владимир! Те линия! Оу! Тише hänger! Tише hänger!
4 дома.
Well, unlocks the whole situation a little bit. Now all the rocks are behind the T-line, so
Тянется, говорю,
probably not going to count in the end, but they are still a vital part of the game.
Нас даже 6 футов устроит. Главное под линия, только линия.
So they can act as catchers later on. Something to work with.
Добавить нужно будет. 0,9.
Добавила. Гард.
Можно стараться.
Дец.
Ой, господи.
Ja.
Те линия! First! First! First here! Right
And
there!
Martin Rios is on it all the way. Will he get it by the guard?
Richtig! First!
No, he's going to
О,
wreck.
Саш. Гард.
Знаешь, как здесь вести?
I don't think the weight was that much off. I think the weight would have been fine.
Ты прям хочешь гард или если что, гард?
So, just a bit narrow maybe. It's interesting to see in the game before they
Пробуй закинуть.
didn't quite
Ja, aber ich habe
Get the hand.
aufgehangen gekriegt, das ist klar.
giving less ice. Many rocks were too far out, and this time around it seems like they're trying to correct that a little bit, especially since they know the sheet already, as they have played their semi-final on it. They know what the ice does, more or less. Of course, the ice has been prepared and redone between games, but still can give an indication
Есть.
Садится,
on
Настя.
what it's like.
Не, хороший вес.
Воу!
Все,
Супер,
ist
даже
Erika,
темп.
Comparing the first two
Воу!
games today, it's still,
Валить надо.
it seemed quite similar.
Воу! Куда идет?
За темп!
Свип!
And this one is going to overcurl a little bit.
Ну ё-моё, ну блин. Зачем трём-то сначала?
Oh, what?
Should have swept it through to get it on the nose, but then again, yeah, it's tough to call with that exact kind of weight. maybe back 8 foot, which you don't really want to sweep because it's already too long. And now there is an opening on the button. Small area, small space, but Perret-Rios will try to play down to it.
You want a little less room or same?
Warte!
Has a little bit more room this time.
Achtung! Ziellinie! Oh!
Also, I feel he threw it a little bit further outside than he did last time.
Ziel! Ziellinie! Oh! Ziele weiter,
Looks
weiter, weiter!
very nice. If that's the finish, he actually curls a lot there. The finish is extreme. I wonder whether they're shot rock. I think they just made it.
Ich weiss es. Trotzdem bist du eng gewesen.
Ja, aber der. Jetzt haben wir so viel mehr Eis. Nein, mehr. Steinbreite mehr Eis. Wir sind immer noch weiter nach. Oder nicht?
Ноль.
Свип!
Сначала может. Сначала
Свип!
со свипом. Что с линией? Начало есть!
Gar zu viel.
Линия тебе нафига такая? Скажи.
15-5.
Давай, 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 вали!
Зачем?
Ты что, не слышишь? Свип!
Зачем валить-то? Чтобы он еще вез сюда?
Настя, не это самое, а?
Зачем валить-то? Чтобы он вез сюда?
Ja.
Зачем валить-то? Объясни мне.
Да, не подумал.
Подумал.
So now the Swiss side gets to try the exact same thing again. Has a little bit less space, but if they make it past the guard very narrowly, they will get to that button. They will be in a good position there. Of course, if this was traditional curling and this team would have a last rock, their coach would be saying, "What are you doing? Bring the game to the sides. Don't cluster up everything in the middle." Well, that's it's very typical for mixed doubles that everything is a little bit concentrated on the middle, at least in the ends where there is no power play in play. Special rule which allows you to move the whole game situation to one side of your choice. And I'm pretty certain we'll see that later on in the game. Pretty significant change. Very interesting to see how teams deal with it as well. And now again, wrecking on the guard. But we have to say that this top red rock, which is probably very likely shot stone, is in a very good position.
Ich habe Mitte 12 gegeben.
Nein, ist so viel mehr.
Mitte 12 habe ich gegeben. Das sagen sie doch, bevor du spielst. Nicht im Nachhinein.
Линия. Ой, вес, вес, вес.
Есть вроде фриз.
Отлично, ждем, пока много линий.
Und sie
Появляется.
Querzigen.
Вес садится очень. Внимательно. Вау, вау, поднять.
Сюда везем, в
Вау,
ямку.
на красный везем. Свип.
Ja, Shot und Second.
Вау, вау, вау! Свой лучше сделай.
Beautiful.
Делать лучше-то.
Ist überhaupt
Now
nicht
the
so
question really is, who is shot rock? It's very tough to see. They're all grouped around the button. I would think that the top yellow is shot, and then it's really tough to call which one of the other two is second, if any of them are.
Нормально, форс есть, форс есть. Задача какая? Не край же сказано.
So Jäggi-Michel is just going to throw it away. I think she thinks she is still shot. This is possible, so they will just save to one. Yeah, Moving something in there is dangerous. Sometimes it's better not to destroy anything you have.
Linie ist gut. Achtung. Warte.
Прям
Linie ist
должно
super.
вот так вообще.
Well, this looks a bit heavy. Perret-Rios backs right off that. Only watches it from afar.
Убирай его, пожалуйста, похуже.
Да.
Желательно совсем.
Совсем не уйдет точно.
Ooh. This is not gonna stop until the very back 8.
Стой же.
Да, конечно. Что по весу делать? 90?
Да. «92».
Да, всегда легко. О, вес есть, вес даже больше. Куда идет?
Сам.
Ну, побыстрее.
Сам,
Кричи.
вес больше.
Что?
4 за.
Нет, нет, не трогать.
Gets to the face of their own. Now again, there is some space available still. If you get to that, to nose of that back button rock, you can really apply pressure here. So it'll be up to Perret-Rios.
Добавляешь. Не добавил сейчас?
Я релиз просто сделал.
To get there.
Ziellinie! Ziellinie! Oh! Achtung! Ziellinie! Fest! Oh!
Hits the guard again. Well, this is becoming a rather unfortunate pattern in this game. This may have been the third or even fourth rock that has hit a guard.
Einfach gewoon nicht reinschnurren und das machen, was ich sage.
И потом что?
Вот так сделай.
Das
окей.
jetzt hier läuft es hinter gerade und
sложно
er ist
привести.
schnell.
Будет тэпать.
Nein, Länge
Ist etwas mit dem Stein? Also, der
Länge ist gut.
ist etwas mit dem Stein.
Nein, wieso?
Weil er
Вот
immer
это вообще
abschmiert.
не
Nein.
брать.
Stein ist gut.
Понимаешь?
Окей, если совсем тогда закрыть.
В принципе, может быть, пусть он и делает. Это тоже сложно.
Sie ist nicht im Griff, das haben wir.
Что это?
Doch, es geht keine
Stay,
für
stay.
deine.
Можно привести вот сюда. Но у
Он
него
хуже встанет,
даже-
чем тот. Туда-сюда.
Там не важно, что он станет хуже. Здесь
Jetzt weisst du es.
идет.
Und er dreht nicht mehr als
Только если он с
1,5
этой
Mal.
стороны
Если он с
будет
этой
попадать.
попадет, то он не идет сюда. И
Но
на
если он с
камень
этой
не
стороны
сыграет.
попадет, он и потеряет шутер тоже. Ему надо стей. Это опасно. Это маленькая очень зона здесь. Настя, мне даже вот так пока нравится.
Да, он херанет и
Пусть
все
херанет.
улетит наше. Все 3 улетят.
Ja, rausbeilen.
So now quite comfortable situation, actually a bit of luxury problems there. Where do you put the next one?
Was willst du rausbeilen?
It's a pretty tough decision really,
Что, везешь закрытый?
because if you throw up a center guard, and your opponent somehow manages to get in there, the steal is almost certain. If you go to the top of it and you don't have the correct angle, you will provide them an easy chance for a triple, which is also something you don't want. So I think they're trying to get to it. Maybe even move it a little bit. Okay. It's in a way, at least about a third or maybe close to a half of the rock. It covers the correct side, so you cannot hit this pair on the left-hand side, so you can't send both flying at once. And they're also covered partially behind that centerish corner guard. So and Perret-Rios is going to try and draw on top of those, of this yellow couple again.
Achtung! Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Achtung!
It is curling now, but well, it was curling nicely, but it was a bit too heavy, I think. A meter less in weight, and this would have been perfect. So I think you will just see Anastasia Bryzgolova just whip this, really. Just hit it and maybe roll behind cover. Even if your nose hit, it's not a disaster, but I think you would like to roll a little bit to the left-hand side. Of course, you will lose your own, but at this point it doesn't matter much, as it's sitting back button anyway, and just gives your opponent a possibility.
Sweep! Sweep! Wow! 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 Sweep! 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 Wow!
Okay.
Хорош, блин. Что глухой? Отличное задание.
Ну надо же было ролл.
Обязательно ролл.
Er is nog één, gauw. Ruimer. Müssen wir schießen? Nee, ist gut.
Замечательно. Что тебе нравится? Смотри, как классно.
Ну могло остаться все.
Нет. Какое все-то остаться? Нет. Это улетало у тебя точно, если ты только в полкам не перевалишь. В полкам там не было запаса. И тебе не нужно это было. У него все последнее не было, да?
So I think this will force Perret-Rios to bring out the big guns and have a play at that rock in front of the house. If you hit it perfectly well, you can get rid of at least 2 yellows. A lot of weight.
Achtung, Zieher!
Ooh, okay. Well, moved everything behind the T-line. Got rid of one of them. A little bit unlucky with the angles there. But he already gave up on that one, really. So,
Ja, aber der bleibt
А если подмазать немного?
Ich habe gemeint, der haut es gerade.
Ja.
Окей.
what do you do now? Well, I think what you could do is draw top forefoot, partially covered behind the left
Она, наверное,
red
снаружи
rock.
повезет, да?
Что?
Она, наверное, снаружи повезет потом.
Ну, она как-нибудь точно повезет, мне кажется. Она не будет бить, поэтому тебе надо
Just make sure you're not over T as well,
точно. Чуть больше.
because if you are, there is no way
Нолик делается.
you can ever remove this. The following shot.
4-0-20. Сильно добавил?
Нет. О, вес.
Вроде вес хороший. Пока нет, больше, Настя.
Ich glaube, das ist gut.
Вес больше, зайти!
Looks
Вытри его!
Куда, ё-моё?
just over
Сюда
T
вот
line.
вытри.
Зачем добавить, говоришь? Добавила вот тебе. Зачем добавлять было?
Потому что если бы не добавили, мы бы привезли бы начало дома со всей дорожкой с
Ну и ты потом
И она
через
бы
него
привезла в
бомбанул. И все.
So now maybe get to the nose of that, maybe a little bit on the inside, tap it maybe a tiny bit, but make sure you do lie partially buried so that the left side is not accessible.
Moskaleva.
Саш, дотри его.
Он очень
But this
садится.
needs to curl a lot. And it is coming down now, but it rolls open. Yeah, and this is removable.
Что там, как попасть?
Перевалом.
This is very much removable.
Der ist zu lang. Kann ich
Ja, man kann den Hänger draufnehmen.
Well, maybe the Russian squad will lose one of their own at the back, but if they do, it's very likely they will stick around with their shooter. So chances for 3 are certainly there.
Ah ja, will ich nicht mit dem Händel durcheinander bringen.
Ну, это 0 минимум.
Doch, deine Girlen da, alle anderen Girlen nicht.
Ja, heisst ja Girling.
С этим, нет? Нравится? Так лучше?
Sorry, ich gebe aussen 4 und dann kommt der dann und der gibt Muss 8 und über Girlen.
Ja, eben Girling, nicht gerade ausschiessen. So ist ein Stück schiessen, jetzt was nicht Girling.
Просто так может 4 взять. Контрол.
Was mache ich? Da gibt es so oft los, oder was?
Что, прямо
Sie
идет?
haben einfach überhaupt keinen Händel.
Я контроль.
Und immer eng.
С линии с этой не повалится.
Я думаю, что у тебя там большой запас. Если перевалится, смотри, совсем
Ну, я
остро.
просто нельзя стей делать. Мне надо
Aber
сразу
der hat
делать.
jetzt probiert für den Girl zu.
Каким весом хочешь?
0.
Ja, aber wenn er noch weiter
Мне
aufbaust,
кажется,
dann...
на лоб надо.
Ja, was ist jetzt der
Soll
Unterschied?
der Rand am Ecke machen?
Воу. Воу. Поднять. Вали. Воу, нет, нет. Воу, воу. Свип, свип. Воу, воу. Да, 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 да. Ах ты ж ё.
Okay. Only hits for
Держать надо с
the deuce,
нижним. Ну, господи.
but if you look at the scoreboard, that is acceptable.
Отличный результат.
5-0 after 3 ends of play here in this final at the mixed doubles
Ist mir egal.
in Bern. Sorry, 5-1. I am being corrected. The players neglected to, and of course we're hitting the 5th end now, as the scoreboard has not been filled out in the last end. So there we have it.
Что не понимаешь, что таким весом шутер точно уходит? Зачем?
Спасибо.
Рискуем нижним и забираем 3. Что за проблемы-то? Ну, это первый
Веришь,
раз.
ты сейчас хочешь пообсуждать это?
Просто не понимаешь, что хочу.
Ты много чего понимаешь?
У нас 5-1.
А сколько ты понимаешь?
Разводим.
Разводим, надо, давай, постарайся сосредоточиться. Нам повалит на 51. Лишний вес.
Свип! Воу! 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 Валить! 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 Вали! 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 Давай! 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 Еще! Еще! Да! 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 Свип! Давай! Давай! В дом! Еще! 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 До конца! Давай! Давай! Лучше!
And here, for the first time in this game, we see the PowerPoint rule apply. Power play rule applied. So you take the original situation of the center guard and the rock at the back four and move it to the side. Just that the rock that is positioned in the house will not be behind, but in front of the T line. So creating a little bit more pressure on the team without hammer. Really a chance for the team with last rock advantage to create some offense. And this is a shot we've seen a couple of times already in power play situations, that you play the reverse soft peel really. So what you want to do is get rid of that corner guard, roll out yourself if you can, and move the other rock to the center. Because as team without hammer, you want to have the game in the middle. You preferably have a center guard. Now this is also a variation of it. Get it in the house, just in order to get rid of this corner and make sure that the rock on the side is available to you.
Ну, конечно, можно попробовать его развести на два свои лучше. И пусть он бьет. Давай тэпса. Пока, наверное, нормально, 80.
Да, протирай. Пока пошире линия. Зацепилась, надо вес, только не гард, Настя.
О, может, под него уже? Это очень сильно. Нет, нет. Okay.
I'm not really sure what they were trying to achieve with this. I mean, if you're 4 up, you don't really need to create possibilities. Probably, I think the call was to split this one in the ring, to lie shot twice, in order to be able to maybe force a force in this end.
Yeah.
So to get the team playing out of curling club Galarus to only score a single. Of course, we are playing mixed doubles here, so that means there is not going to be any blank ends. Well, there might be, but no team will get an advantage of that, as the hammer does still change in case of a blank end. So you rather score your single than score nothing. Comes around nicely, but it's just too heavy. It just leaves the house at the back. Perret-Rios scratching his head there. Well, must be a little bit frustrating. He's been missing on the wrong side of the hinge.
То есть ты на 2 идешь? Да? Окей.
Так и так на 2.
Нет.
Окей, давай камень снимем. Просто если чиркнешь гарда, он пойдет туда. Это очень опасно.
Окей, давай, рано.
Точно, если кто только пил. Смотри, чтобы не осталось.
So big weight now. Get rid of everything. I just narrowly misses. Corner red. Nice try there. It was a loud bang in the rink. And it's impressive how accurate these big weight takeouts are thrown. We've seen a couple of those. of course, is a bit of a tool. You can take the ice reading out of play for a bit. If you throw it hard enough, it's not going to curl at all. And the people who have on the sheet here are certainly capable of doing that. Perret-Rios, Jenny Perret, and certainly Alexander Krusheinitckii.
Warte, es geht! 93. Linie ist gut!
We haven't seen complete big weight play from Anastasia Bryzgolova yet. But who knows, we'll get a taste of that later on, because their team will be playing on the more defensive side now. They will have to. Playing the scoreboard in this situation is certainly part of the tactics, so playing the scoreboard, you look at the scoreboard, you realize you're 4 up, and then your main objective is get rid of anything that's not your color, in this case red.
Тэп не нравится?
Не очень. Маленький тэп это трипл. Того причем.
I wonder what they decided on now.
Бей. Видишь камень, бей.
А?
Видишь камень, бей.
If I was in their position, I would probably hit the right hand side red, just to be sure it doesn't bother me anymore. You could also clear the guard, but it's not really a threat as you're sitting top 8.
Если он будет от нашего прятаться.
You can always push this yellow wherever you like, quite easily, as it's almost 100% open. So any position that is accessible otherwise will also be accessible by that yellow, really. So and that's what they're doing. Just get rid of it. If you can roll to the middle, that's nice, but it's not an imperative.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, I would think. That does the trick.
Einfach mooi 4 Fuß. Einfach mooi 4 Fuß.
So come around and simply hit the 4 foot, Jenny Perret says. Yeah, well, you really have to make sure that you get in a scoring position here, because if you don't, then you're not really putting pressure on your opponent. And as long as you're not doing that, you're not going to create any mistakes. If they are not shot stone with the next rock to come, then we'll probably just see the guard clear.
Achtung! Ziellinie! Oh!
And then the house will be wide open.
Ziellinie! Ziellinie! Oh.
Or is it already? I think it's. Sorry, I'm mistaking. Of course, it's already last rock, so she'll probably just get rid of the just thrown rock.
Да. 34. Warum?
Смотри, просто убиваем, главное не перевал.
Прямо там, да?
Там прямо-то довольно.
Ой, нет, нет.
Валить?
Да. Давай, вали, 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 вали. Давай, 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 вали, еще,
Will it hit anything?
еще.
Oh, it does just so. Well, that was a bit lucky there. A lucky break that it stopped right behind. The yellow shot stone. That of course, if it doesn't go well for you, then it doesn't go well for you. They're laughing now as well, I think.
Ja, aber Rios, wir sind 5-1 hängen. Machst du noch einen?
So 5-2. 3 am Verschluss, wenn wir 3 mal klauen, das ist so sind.
Sie haben ein Powerplay.
Ja, ich weiss, das ist mir schon klar.
Ich würde Run spielen.
So they're debating take a single or try for the deuce,
Ja, wir sind wie Singer.
which is not easy because it's
Ну, такое.
you have to hit it a fraction on the right hand side.
Ну, я прям
just a
не знаю,
tiny
я
bit.
боялась его закрыть, потому что
Straight back I don't think will do. You will just miss through the gap.
у меня вот
Because
не
you
очень
also
прям
want to
идёт.
stick around, so you have to hit about a quarter of the left hand yellow in order to be able to score two.
Oh!
So again, big weight being thrown there.
Oh!
And now getting lucky? No, no luck. Nothing at all.
Да. Сказал. Thank you.
That's two, and that's already shake hands.
Congrats.
Well, an impressive semi-final win, and also an impressive final win for the Russian team of Anastasia Bryzgolova and Alexander Krusheinitckii.
Я возьму один, давай.
Well, with this we're already at the end of our live broadcast. Unfortunately, would have hoped for a little bit longer game, but that's what happens in curling. The other two games you can follow online with the live score.
Всем привет.
We thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you will tune in next year. Same place, same time. And we're looking forward to that already. And in case you're wondering, there is still curling available on the internet. You can watch Europeans. For example, Switzerland is playing Germany right now. So make sure to tune in as the Europeans take place in St. Gallen, Switzerland in the following week, or right now actually. Thank you very much for tuning in and have a nice Sunday. Bye.